Everyone thinks you need some brilliant, high-tech, unicorn startup idea to build serious wealth. But what if that's all wrong? Today, we're going to dive into how some of the most seemingly dull businesses out there could actually be your ticket to real financial freedom.
Think about it. We're just constantly bombarded with these stories, right? Tech billionaires, venture capital, world-changing startups. It makes it feel like that's the only game in town. But is it really? Do you actually need a once-in-a-generation idea just to get ahead? So, let's just challenge that whole assumption for a second. What if the most reliable, surefire path to building wealth wasn't flashy at all? What if it was kind of boring? We're going to pull back the curtain on this quiet engine that consistently creates millionaires from the most ordinary, everyday services you can imagine. All right, let's get right into it. Section 1. Why boring beats flashy. We're going to look at the actual nuts and bolts of why these unglamorous businesses often run circles around their super trendy counterparts when it comes to making actual, predictable profit.
Okay, just picture this for a minute. You've got two entrepreneurs. Let's call them Alice and Bob. Alice launches a super flashy direct-to-consumer brand. She gets tons of press. She's all over social media. But man, she is just burning through cash. She's constantly fighting off copycats and riding the stressful roller coaster of what's cool this week. And then you've got Bob. Bob buys a few laundromats. It's not sexy, right? But his business is like a metronome, predictable, repeatable, and it just spits out cash with pretty low stress. So you tell me, who's in a better position 5 years from now?
So what's the secret sauce here? What's the magic? Well, it really boils down to a few powerful strengths. These businesses are built on recurring revenue. The cash flow is predictable. You scale them with good systems, not with viral marketing hype. And they're practically immune to fads. Come on, people are always going to need clean clothes or cash from an ATM. That stability means you can maintain your profit margins and survive pretty much any economic downturn.
Okay, so now that we get the why, let's talk about the how. This next part is the winning business formula. Think of it as your 8-point checklist to spot one of these golden opportunities hiding in plain sight.
So here it is, the core of the whole thing. Your checklist for spotting a winner. We'll go through these first 6 with some examples and then circle back for the last 2. You're looking for something with recurring demand, something that doesn't care about trends, and something you can scale with systems. You also need a manageable startup cost, high potential for profit, and this last one is so important, operational defensibility. That's basically your moat, something that makes it really hard for competitors to just waltz in and copy you. To make this super clear, let's take that first one, recurring demand. Think about an ATM placed in a really busy spot, like a mall or right on a college campus. It's so simple, but every single transaction generates a little fee. Day in, day out, that machine is just creating this steady, consistent stream of income.
And what about being trend-proof? Waste management is the perfect example. This service is always needed. It doesn't matter what's going viral on TikTok, people are always going to have trash to get rid of. It's an essential service, and that's where the real power is. And speaking of high margin potential, get this. Some sources claim that laundromats have a success rate as high as 95%. When a business model is that stable, you know you're looking at an incredibly strong and profitable foundation.
I absolutely love this story because it's so real. A guy's factory air compressor breaks down, and he's forced to rent a replacement for $500 a day. Can you imagine? In that moment of pure frustration, a light bulb goes off. He realizes, wait a second, this is a business. This painful problem I'm having is a huge opportunity staring me right in the face. That's the mindset.
Now let's talk about that moat again, defensibility. How do you protect your business? Well, imagine a tow truck company that has an exclusive contract for a busy stretch of highway. That contract is the moat. It creates this powerful barrier that locks out all the other competitors, no matter how cheap their service is.
And to round out our checklist, the last 2 points are all about growth. Number 7, can the business model be easily adapted for your specific local market? And number 8, is there a clear path to expansion? Can you add more machines, more locations, or new services down the road?
Okay, so we've got the theory, we've got the checklist. Now what? How do you actually get started? This next section is all about that, your first small step. A simple, no-nonsense roadmap to get you going.
The roadmap to get started is actually way simpler than you might think. First, just pick one model. One. Don't fall into the trap of analyzing everything forever. Second, do the research on your local market. Is there a real need? Who's the competition? Third, and this is so key, launch a small pilot. Just buy one machine or service just one small area.
This keeps your risk super low while you learn the ropes. And finally, track your numbers like a hawk and pour those early profits right back into growing the business.
Look, at the end of the day, this is about reframing what you're trying to build. You're not building a high-risk rocket ship that might explode on the launch pad. Nope. You're building a dependable, reliable cash machine that's designed to pay you month after month.
All right, let's wrap this all up with a final thought that might just change how you look for opportunities from now on. If you take just one thing away from this, let it be this. The biggest, most lucrative opportunities are almost never the ones going viral. They're not in the headlines. They are hiding in plain sight, disguised as boring, everyday problems that everyone wishes someone would finally solve.
So I'll leave you with this question to think about. Look around your own community, your own neighborhood. What's that one boring problem you hear everyone complaining about? Because that right there, that might just be the hidden gold mine you've been looking for.